Wow, Lena's knowledge of coffee and chocolate is fantastic. The time flew by during this tour. We wish we could have another 2 hours with Lena. She made the tour experience feel like spending time with a friend on a Saturday morning at a gourmet coffee shop catching up. We recommend her tour for anyone who thinks they know coffee or is trying to learn about coffee. BTW, my wife is not a coffee drinker, better said, she wasn't a coffee drinker until meeting Lena. Her recommendations on coffee beans for us to take home were the best. I wish I could carry back tons, not just a few pounds. Lena is charismatic and very detail-minded in her explanations. Thank you, Lena, and hope to see you in the future. John and Mary. We met with Lena at the designated spot. She has a table reserved for us and walked us through the different coffees of Colombia and how they are roasted. She had a chart that explained in detail the different varieties, roasting methods and flavors. It was very similar to a wine tasting and was comprehensive in regards to the smells and tastes. Our second stop we learned about the different brewing methods and the taste differences. Both stops were very insightful. Our final stop was a chocolate tasting. Again, very detailed and informative. We learned so much about coffee and chocolate. She was friendly, insightful, and her English was great. Highly recommend. As part of this tour, visited 2 specialty coffee shops, tasting different types of coffee. I learned about the history of coffee in Colombia and some basics of coffee tasting. I quickly learned that my tasting and description skills leave a lot to be desired. We then walked to get to an artisanal chocolate factory. I learned about the cacao tree, history of chocolate, and tasted different types of chocolate made with cacao from different regions. The guide Lena was very knowledgeable and presented the info in a very fun way. I highly recommend this tour. As part of this tour, visited 2 specialty coffee shops, tasting different types of coffee. I learned about the history of coffee in Colombia and some basics of coffee tasting. I quickly learned that my tasting and description skills leave a lot to be desired. We then walked to get to an artisanal chocolate factory. I learned about the cacao tree, history of chocolate, and tasted different types of chocolate made with cacao from different regions. The guide Lena was very knowledgeable and presented the info in a very fun way. I highly recommend this tour. We booked this tour during the weekday, and to our surprise we are the only 2 in this workshop. Lena greeted us with a big smile, and she just gives such a welcoming vibe that we know this tour is gonna be great. Lena shared her knowledge on the history of coffee and chocolate with us, and throughout the tour we get to experience the amazing coffee and chocolate tasting and appreciate each of the different notes. Definitely recommend to anyone who wants to understand more about Colombian coffee and chocolate culture. Great experience on the coffee/chocolate tour. We went as a couple, and my husband doesn't drink coffee but still learned a lot and enjoyed the experience. We talked a lot about how coffee is produced, then taste-tested coffee by roasting method and preparation method. It was really interesting. Overall, the tour was professionally executed and well-timed. A great morning activity if you have time in your trip. Our group had a great time. Lena was very informative and engaging, and it was the perfect smallish group size. We learned a lot about where the coffee and chocolate is grown, the types and methods of preparation, and sampled a lot of both. Would definitely recommend this to anyone visiting Bogotá. We loved our morning experience tasting coffee and chocolate with Lena. She was an excellent host with incredible knowledge and took us to some amazing places. We would truly recommend this. For us, it is a must-do experience in Bogotá and a perfect way to spend a morning in Chapinero.